Hello and welcome to Sports Update on Trust TV. I am Emmanuel Fashimi. We'll be taking you around the world of sports this evening, and we'll be looking at some stories making the round in the world of sports. You know how we do it on the show. We start with our own. We start with our own story. We'll talk about it, and we'll let you know wherever it is happening when it comes to sports. Definitely, you are sure to get it on Sports Update and other of our sports program. All right, let's start still talking about the Paris. We cannot stop talking about it because we have Nigeria, the most populous black nation in the world, the giant of Africa, participating at this particular event where we're having teams, individual athletes, team sports that will be showcasing at the Paris Games. We will start from there this evening, where that is the Super Falcons will camp in Spain ahead of the game. That is ahead of Paris 2024 Olympic Games, to acclimatize themselves with the weather and what it looks like in France. And it's a good one for the NFF, putting everything in place to see that all of our the male team is not there. We only have the Super Falcons who will be representing the Africa at that women's football event. Now, NFF has said that Super Falcons will camp in Spain ahead of the games, which is actually a very nice venue to have these ladies camping ahead of the 2024 Paris Olympic Games. So let's see what will happen with these girls, because we are we have a very tough task ahead of us. We're in the same group with Spain, that is world champions. United States of America is also USA in that group. So a lot of persons have been talking that the Super Falcons might not qualify from their group because of the powerhouses when it comes to women's football that are in that group. But I think if everything goes by, we are going to definitely see that Super Falcons can actually hold their own when it comes to the women's football on the continent of Africa and in the world. So we believe that the Super Falcons can do us proud when the Olympics comes calling, just less than 60 something days away to the Paris 2024 Olympic Games. And for Super Falcons, they will be camping in Spain ahead of the games. The invitations have been sent out to the players actually needed, around the wardroom. The coach of the side is also getting ready to see how he can actually master the tactics that they are going to deploy against the likes of Spain and Brazil in our group at the Paris Games. Let's not forget that this same Brazil at the Benin Olympics, then the last Olympics we participated in, they defeated us, and Nigeria Super Falcons, they didn't make it out of the group stage. But this time around, we are ready to make it out of the group stage despite the tough countries in our group, and then go to the next round, quarterfinal. Super Falcons also might just follow the footsteps of Super Eagles, becoming the first African women's football team to win the Olympics gold medal for women's football. The first African country to win Olympic gold medal in football was the Super Eagles in Atlanta 1996, and that is why the sports minister is charging all of our teams, all the individual athletes going to Paris, to surpass that achievement of the Atlanta 1996. That was one of our best. That is the best outing for Nigeria when you talk about Olympics. And Paris 2024 is where we are also looking at to do so well and surpass our achievement at that of Atlanta 1996. Well, for the Super Falcons, let's see what will happen after that. They were able to get the better of South Africa in over 2 legs, and Nigeria qualified for the Paris Games. All right, let's still talking about our national teams. This time around, let's talk about the women, about the men. Let's leave Super Falcons and talk about the Super Eagles. Now, one player in the Super Eagles team, that is Wilfred Ndidi, is actually talking tough that they are under pressure to beat South Africa and Benin Republic. Well, the game against Benin Republic and South Africa is a must-win one for the Super Eagles if we actually want to go to the World Cup. We must win these 2 games. If anything short of a win, then that's going to spell trouble for us. And as it stands right now, we just have to put all our acts together and make sure we get the maximum win against Benin Republic and South Africa. The game against South Africa is coming up on the 7th of June, and the camp, like you heard on the morning show, the camp will open on the 2nd of June. So 5 days to that game, and we had Kelechi Iheanacho and co. We have the likes of Victor Osimhen will not be there, who has been ruled out of that game. Also, just yesterday, Ibrahim Olawonyi replaces Nathan Tella. Nathan Tella is not injured, but because of some family issues, he has been excused from the team. The likes of Williams, Truce Ekong are not being invited. Kenneth Omero is not there. And we are asking some questions why these players, or like also who has just whose contract has just been extended by Nottingham Forest, is not also part of this of the team. But well, Coach Ndidi George knows best, and he knows the players he has invited. He believes this player can give us the maximum 6 points from these 2 games. I don't know if my guests are ready to join up on the show. Isaac Omidiji, if Isaac Omidiji is there, let's have Isaac. Okay, Isaac, welcome to Sports Update this lovely evening. And we talked about the Super Falcons camping in Spain. At least they should have the best of preparation before the Paris Games.
Good evening, Emmanuel. Thank you for having me again. Yes, for the Super Falcons, we expect that. And if it's about talking about weather, I think it should have been Belgium and not Spain. But whatever it is, these are girls who were born in Nigeria and traveled abroad. Only probably Ashley Plumte and maybe 1 or 2 Alozie that are probably not brought up in Nigeria. So these are girls that I believe can acclimatize with whatever weather they're going to face in France. Most importantly, we are in a group of death. There's no doubt about it. And playing former world champions, Olympic champions, shows that, yes, we have a lot of work to do. So what I expect from the coach and the coaching team is for us to have a pattern that would neutralize the powers of these so-called powerhouses. Because it's not just about competing in the Olympics. We just have to make impact. No matter how difficult our group is. Yes, somebody might be giving us a chance looking at the kind of countries we're going to play. But this is women football, where the resilience we have seen that they have demonstrated in the past can still come to play. So let us allow this team to get the right environment to train, get the right tactics, be in the right frame of mind, and the Ninja spirit then is the only thing, and their tactical play that will see them out of that group, because it's definitely a group of death. But preparing from now, about 6 weeks or more than 6 weeks before the Olympic Games, it's not really a bad one for this football team. And considering that these ladies, most of them just finished playing for their club sides in Europe. Some are even still playing for their club sides. So let's have them back. Make sure that they play as a team. The aging ones should be supported by the younger ones, and see how gradually we can incorporate the younger ones into the team. And for Coach Radiwadrum, the last World Cup he played, the girls did a lot better because of the never say Niger spirit. So let's see how they can deploy that in the Olympics and neutralizes the powers of the soccer powerhouses.
Okay, Samuel, you are very close to this team. You're close to them. You understand the women's football. The choice of Spain, how come about it for the Super Falcons?
Oh, well, I think Spain has been a familiar terrain for the Nigerian Football Federation. If you understand pretty well that we camped in Spain prior to our campaign in France during the Women's World Cup 2019, where we played Canada, if you did remember, where Desire Kwane scored our only goal against Canada in that friendly at the Pinata Arena. So definitely that must be likely the venue will be having to camp. It's a very nice venue, which definitely might likely also house other teams preparing for the World Cup, so preparing for the Olympics. So surely it's a familiar terrain, it's a place familiar to the federation. So most definitely they must have thought it through, adopting Spain instead of possibly France or any other country. So I think the other option probably that NFF is also very much familiar with is Austria, where we also camped, back in 2018, 2019, as 2022. I think I really can't remember specifically, but I think we've camped there. I think yes, we camped there where we had the partners. We played a club friendly. Our partners coming back to score, against a club side in Austria. So I think it's a familiar place, and understanding the fact that it's unlikely most of these European teams will be playing their Euros qualifiers that same period. So the likely opportunity of playing a European team is out of it. So the teams we have a chance of playing against now, in terms of friendly, it's probably the non-European teams. So although a team is already named, but unfortunately I can't disclose that at the moment because definitely I know a lot could change. So, but regardless, I think a team is in play and definitely a date has been scheduled for that friendly. But surely we can't wait to see. But for me, I think it's a good thing. We expected there's a FIFA window already running at the moment, and practically most of our players are on break. We are currently in an international women's break as we speak. Unfortunately, we don't have a campaign. I think this is probably a toss between the federation and the coach over the choice of where to camp. And I think probably the choice of the federation was most likely camping in Nigeria, having a local camp, seeing some of the local league players, which possibly did not go in line with the plan of the coach. So definitely he is also one who seems to be avoiding distractions, if you put it in quotes, distraction or pressure or kind of. So I think it's a good one, no doubt. A few days to the tournament, and at least hoping having known that we'll leave Spain on 16 and our opening game is on 25 against Brazil. So surely. And that's looking at the FIFA window, the FIFA calendar. That's also what you have to work with. So most of our players, majority of them, or if not all, play abroad. So all of them, like Isaac said, they have no issue of acclimatization. They live, not just work. They live in Europe. So except for those who play in America, which the weather is almost the same. So and when you are playing in the summer, it's the summer. So you don't make any mincemeat of it. The summer is more or less the most favorable time most favorite time of life you could enjoy in Europe. So practically we have no excuses saying weather or whatever. We know how best these times are, and know it's enjoyable time for such a massive multi-sport event.
Okay, for such a massive sports event, Isaac, just chipping this, do you think our guests are fully ready for that group, Brazil, Spain, these two countries alone? At least when you hear their name, when it comes to women's football, Spain, they are the world champions. Can we actually qualify from that group against all odds?
If you look at the strength of the the four teams in that group, you will say it is difficult for the Super Falcons to qualify from that group. If you look at the antecedents, you say it is difficult. But looking at what the same Super Falcons team did at the World Cup, and looking at how confident they were going into each game and how they were improving by game, I think if they have the belief, they should be able to at least bring one or two surprises out there. I'm not going to write them off. If it is going to be the male team, probably I will have written them off, but not the women team at all. So because they are always very, very committed, always very dedicated. Remember before the World Cup, we were all calling for the heads of Randy Wardrobe. But at the World Cup, both Randy Wardrobe and the ladies surprised us. So don't let us write them off. On paper, we will not qualify. Based on antecedent, we will not qualify. Based on history and what we have done at the Olympics and World State, we will not qualify. But based on our own attitude and preparations and tactics, and how confident we are in ourselves, and not looking down ourselves and having inferiority complex, then we will spring surprises.
Okay, then we will spring surprises. Let's move over to the Super Eagles. Samuel, Wilfred Ndidi says Super Eagles are under pressure to beat South Africa and Benin Republic. Do you go in line with Wilfred Ndidi assertion about this particular games because it is the 2026 FIFA World Cup qualifier, and now a player, a part of the team, Wilfred Ndidi, our own Super Eagles midfielder, says they are under pressure to beat South Africa and Benin Republic.
Yeah, for me, I think it's relative. Being under pressure is relative, and it's something very familiar for players. I think Ndidi as a person, especially understanding the fact that he's bashing in the euphoria of just qualifying his team back to the Premier League. I think it's expected that we definitely be under pressure, because understanding how we turn out in our previous two games, I think surely. It's no-brainer that we definitely need to be under pressure. We need to be fully aware of how delicate times are for us, and knowing that these two games definitely will be crucial in our chances of qualification. So I think it's fitting to tell that a pressure with something will be something that they are very familiar with, and something they definitely should be able to relate with. So I think it's no surprise. It's a pressure for everyone, not just the players, but even the country as a whole.
Okay, even the country as a whole. All right, let's leave that story and go straight to Europe. One man says Chelsea is not going for Victor Osimhen, and whenever he speaks, you know him, he's a football expert, Fabrizio Romano, and now he has, because a lot of by the end of the season, after the Serie A season, a lot of speculation during the Nations Cup, the Drogba, Mikel Obi, we're hearing the news that Victor Osimhen might be making his way to Chelsea, but this coming out from Fabrizio Romano, a man who's a football expert, who knows how to break news about players signing and what have you, coaches moving. Now has said Chelsea is not going for Victor Osimhen. Now, if Chelsea is not going for Victor Osimhen, who are they going for, and where are we expecting Victor Osimhen to play come next season? He has been ruled out of these particular qualifiers against South Africa and Benin Republic. And now Isaac, well, I think at this point in time, we don't know where Victor Osimhen will be heading to.
Well, if Victor Osimhen is not heading to Fazio, who is a very trustworthy football transfer agent, let me use the language, and journalist, then he might be moving to PSG. Remember that Mbappe has already left PSG. And PSG are also looking for a high-profile player. And it has
okay, we lost communication with Isaac there. If he's back, Chelsea is not actually going for Victor Osimhen, but definitely, like Isaac said from his last words, if Chelsea is not going for Victor Osimhen, definitely we should be looking at Victor Osimhen heading for PSG. All right, let's leave Osimhen's story and quickly go straight to EPL, where the likes of Wolves, Crystal Palace, Everton queue for Chelsea forward Armando Broja, who is a Chelsea striker, and these three clubs are in line. They want to sign this fantastic and enterprising young player. All right, let's leave that story and also look at these Atletico Madrid favorites to sign Mason Greenwood, Manchester United player who's on loan at Getafe, and we're having now Atletico Madrid might just be in line to sign that is Mason Greenwood. And then the last news on the show this evening, it's about Anthony Joshua, who has been making his way after back-to-back losses to Usyk in the world heavyweight bout. Now he's trying to make his way back. He's vying for the IBF belt. Now by tomorrow, we will know, that is on Saturday, we might just be know who Joshua will fight next. And there is a possibly match between him and Tyson Fury in September. That is in England. That is all British bout. So let's see who comes next to Anthony Joshua, who he will be fighting. All right, that is where we'll be leaving it on the program this evening. Thanks Isaac and Samuel Amedu for joining up on the show this evening. And network has not really been friendly for us to have you both on the show this evening. The same thing happened in the morning, but there is subsequent edition. We'll be having you guys back on the show. I am Emmanuel Fashimi. Say thanks for watching.